Good morning, pineapples. Rise in freedom. You're all looking very good and very nice today. Brrr! It's cold in here. There must be some freedom in the atmosphere. I said, brrr! It's cold in here. There must be some freedom in the atmosphere. It's AP. What's up, guys? My hair is just not going to obey me today. Welcome to Wake Up America show. I'm AP for Liberty, and it's day 7 of me being hacked on X.com. While Elon Musk is away, the hackers will play. Nice to have you here. We do have some news this morning. We're going to talk about Donald Trump firing FEMA. FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency. Oh no, what will we do? It's a constitutional crisis. If they don't steal $59 million from me and give it to luxury hotels to house illegal immigrants, whatever shall I do? No! It's a crisis. It's a constitutional crisis. Stay calm, everyone. The Department of Government Efficiency is on the hunt for waste, fraud, and abuse. Good morning, welcome, everybody. Hit that like button as we file on in. Have a seat down. Man, you think it's cold in here in the United States. Bruce Birtwhistle all the way from Canada, eh? Good morning, Pineapple. Wizard Greg, to what do we owe the pleasure? Quest says hang in there, Austin. Thanks, man. It does, listen, I'm not a stripper, but you throw a $5 bill in my bra and I'll give you a little shake. Appreciate you guys very much. I hope that you guys are feeling good today. There's so much to cover in the news. Honestly, I feel as if it's really difficult to do my job effectively for you guys, to give you everything that I think that you need to know, because it's just 2 hours. Well, I think that there is going to be a little bit of a pressure release valve for that for you guys, because we're going to have to step up the amount of coverage that we're doing. Daniela Pensack at Culturama, she's doing extra hours. Starting next month, I'm going to start doing extra hours in order to meet, of course, Rumble's creator program requirements. Next month, I will have to create at least 5 hours of exclusive premium content. So it's good news for you guys, especially if you're Rumble premium subs. But I kind of need it because there's just that much. I wish that I had all my shows rocking for the For Liberty Network, but, I'm still recruiting, still looking for talent out there. It's hard to find good people to host podcasts, especially live podcasts. You got to understand that, to stick to this schedule and to make this happen, most people, they don't have the luxuries that I have to be able to kind of like commit to it in this way. They got to do it sort of part-time. So it's difficult to find someone who can like fit that niche as we bootstrap the For Liberty Network and grow. We're moving along with the Battle of Athens documentary. We set our date for the final shoot. We've got a lot of stuff going on over here. I'm fighting, unfortunately, I'm having to fight Elon Musk's boys over at X to get a response. I'm just trying to find any way I can to get my X account recovered. It's deeply troubling, and I'll tell you, the things like this, they take an emotional toll on you because, there's a lot at risk. And when you're in a scenario like this, it's just so awkward. It's not like it's some like leftist organization or something like Jack. It's like, it's Elon Musk. Like, bro, I'm trying to like report on everything you guys are doing because it's so wonderful what Elon Musk is doing. You see, he showed up at the White House yesterday with Donald Trump and his kid, little X, that's what they call him. And, it's just so cute. And one of the overarching narratives I'm seeing in the news is that, at least from right-wing conservative media outlets, is that more people are kind of bringing their kids in public. J.D. Vance shows up with his kids in public, or they're normalizing bringing their kids in public. And it couldn't come at a better time for me and Stephanie because, we got a kid, and honestly, we want to take our little kid out there in public. I guess, and it's hard because it wasn't a parent to sort of analyze it. There seems to be a prevailing kind of, I don't know, je ne sais quoi, what is it? It was an idea that it was, you keep your kids at home, don't take them to a restaurant, they scream, they cry, kids should be seen and not heard, which is kind of what my dad said when I was a kid, right? Children should be seen and not heard. Did you ever hear that when you were growing up? Did you ever have children should be seen and not heard? I'm pretty sure my mom told me that at least a couple of times, right? And maybe children should be seen and not heard, but that kind of requires discipline. And I'll tell you one thing that as a new parent, I'm learning from just all like the mommy help shit that you see in the reels. Some of it's great, some of it's gross and weird. But it's like, the whole gentle parenting trend. I mean, the gentle parenting people, they may not strike their kids, but they are effing bullies, man. They are bullies. Trust me. Here's the thing about people who claim to be nonviolent, and I'm going to rip on the anti-war people for a little bit. The people who are the most vehemently anti-war, they will get violent. They tend to get, the angrier someone gets, the closer they tend to be to violence. I attended for example, the loving, peaceful, hippie Pork Fest. It's Porcupine Festival up in New Hampshire one year. And I was doing a debate on conspiracies and conspiracy theories. It was 9/11 and vaccines and all this stuff. And, I presented all my information, did all my research and stuff. And I was still kind of a young debater at that time. But I remember, it was the peace-loving, shirtless, yeah, man, hippie, who was trying to violently attack me. At the end of this debate, just a debate of ideas. It's the same reason you can't draw Muhammad, right? Islam is the religion of peace, right? But if you draw our leader, it's I'm gonna cut your head off, right? It's Jesus, will you calm the F down? People, it's their sacred cows. I am the butcher of sacred cows. It's my new name. I've had a lot of nicknames in my career. A lot of people call me a lot of things. The Freedom Ninja, that's one, right? But now today, these days, they call me the butcher, the slayer of sacred cows. I killed them all. And, people kind of need their gree-gree, superstitions and stuff. Do I, oh gosh, this good thing might happen. Oh, okay, knock on wood, right? This bad thing might happen. Let's not have it happen. Knock on wood, right? When I was a kid, for a brief time, I used to throw salt over my shoulder just because, not necessarily because I thought it did anything, but because I liked the concept of you spill the salt, you throw it over your shoulder, gypsy curse. Oh, it's a constitutional crisis if we cut spending. No, it's not. It's just normal shit. You're not seeing ghosts. You're probably just doing drugs, you hippie anti-war who wants to attack people and be violent. It's weird.
But you can't have an autonomous federal bureaucracy. You have to have one that is responsive to the people. That's the whole point of a democracy. And if you looked at this, if you asked looked at the founders today and said, what do you think of the way things have turned out? Well, we have this unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government, which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative. And this is not something that people want, and it's not. It does not match the will of the people. So it's just something we've got to fix. And we've also got to address the deficit. So we've got a $2 trillion deficit, and if we don't do something about this deficit, the country's going bankrupt. It's really astounding that the interest payments alone on the national debt exceed the Defense Department budget, which is shocking because we spend a lot of money on defense.
God, it's so refreshing to have them there. So refreshing to hear that. Just the fact that is being said in the White House right now, just, oh my God. Yeah, even though it's terrifying, but it's here's the thing. We've been saying this for years, libertarians, conservatives, right-wingers, people who've been calling to rein in spending. Elon Musk was kind of a soft liberal for a number of years, so he's kind of new to the libertarian train. But now he's out there, he's all aboard, basically. He's quoting Thomas Sowell, he's posting, I think Murray Rothbard, he's definitely posting libertarian literature quite frequently and and he sides with a lot of libertarians. He supports a lot of libertarian ideals. And he actually seems to have internalized them, right? He's talking about them in an intellectual manner. And now, instead of having Joe Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, what's going on in the White House? Can't even do a press release. Dude, I saw a picture yesterday of Donald Trump, and he was sitting in front of 80 cameras, must have been. There's 80 people have packed into the White House in the Oval Office. And he's just answering questions. They're just boom, 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 slinging at him. And he's just no problem. Answering questions. When was the last time that remember when Biden's whole thing for his presser, the last ditch effort to save his campaign at the end of last year, bless his heart. He was going to do a press conference. He was going to do a press conference. Oh, dude, this was some Woodrow Wilson stuff. The way that they covered up. The way that they covered up Joe Biden in the White House, history books are going to write about it. Like, it will probably be like obscure knowledge. Like, for the people who do know Woodrow Wilson being incapacitated, and his wife was like doing this whole kind of like Rube Goldberg machine of keeping the Republicans from seeing him, from knowing that he was incapacitated. She was signing bills. She might have been signing some executive orders. There was this whole scandal, right? And God bless it. I see Woodrow Wilson's name in the news. I see, boy, these sneaky little neocons. I see these little sneaky right wingers who will come in and they use, in order to stay alive, many of these people have adapted a MAGA agenda, right? You got to be careful because there are people that are, there's little weasels out there, little weasels in the ranks that you have to watch out. But I read one, he was talking about Woodrow Wilson, and it was clear to me from my understanding of this guy that he's a standard kind of George W. Bushy neocon, right? But he's criticizing, sort of one of the intellectual fathers of neoconservatism, which was Woodrow Wilson, and widely considered to be, by any right-winger who knows their history, Woodrow Wilson is considered to be the worst president in American history. I think, if you're on the side of liberty, you're not on the side of Woodrow Wilson. And Woodrow Wilson is like if Elizabeth Warren had gotten elected president of the United States. Can you imagine? Guys, did you see, though, speaking of Elizabeth Warren, did you guys see? Oh, man, she is getting hounded these days. I saw somebody published on Open Secrets today all of the congressional salaries, and it's like, and then it was their actual net worth. And Elizabeth Warren became one of the richest people in the Senate. Boo, boo. Where's the money coming from? See, this is the thing. They're scared. They're scared of Trump. They're scared of Elon Musk. They're terrified of Elon Musk. Go, Elon, go. Go, Elon, go. Go, Elon, go. Elon, Elon, Elon. Can we get a heart in the chat? If you guys are listening, drop some hearts in the chat for Elon, because even though I'm getting screwed by his platform X, and he's left the keys to his kingdom, I think the platform is in a dangerous position right now, personally. I'm sure he doesn't care about my opinion, but consider this, guys. They're getting ready to launch a wallet, a financial wallet, right? Imagine if, think about where your bank is, right? So my Twitter account was hacked. My X account was hacked a week ago now, right? So they get all this access to my personal information. They're trying to defraud my followers, right? I'm paying for the premium service here, right? They're not responding to me. I see they have responded to some other accounts that are bigger accounts that look like they're politically connected. But if you have to be politically connected in order to get your account back on the platform, first of all, that's what we were accusing the left of doing, how they ran it before Elon took over, that it was basically just a little kingdom, a fiefdom, and only certain people can actually really use or benefit from the site, right? So it's like an insider circle, right? Remember the old checkmark system we were all mad about, right? Well, meritocracy be damned, I guess, in a sense. But X wants to build a wallet, to be an everything app, and have your finances connected to it. That's shady. You can't just say, I'm going to take over an institution and then take some of its most sensitive aspects to it. And they're asking for more money this month. The premium, there's been a rise in the cost of premium. And if you think you're going to get support, if you don't have that, and then if you lose your account, even if you have premium support, they're not going to help you. Unless you are, again, what appears to be a bias in favor of those who are politically connected, which, we all recognize, again, private businesses can operate under their own terms, but, it's fine to say, oh, it's a meritocracy, but is it really a meritocracy? Or, do we need to get some attention going? I've tried not to be too annoying while being annoying enough to try and get the account back that I think is necessary. But, I've had to escalate it, and I'm escalating it further. And, I feel as if, I'm at odds because, Helping Freedom. Waldo, what's up? Waldo says, is the judge on today? Yes, Judge Napolitano will be on today at 8 a.m. Central Time. We're going to hear him talk about, I'll get back to the news. We're going to hear the judge talk about the judges that are trying to block the Doge agenda. So we're going to get his legal perspective this morning on the Doge agenda being blocked by these judges who are stepping in and saying things like, oh, well, we're going to take oversight of you, and we are going to, speaking of constitutional crisis, we're going to take away your constitutional we're going to take away the mandate that you have from the people. Okay, well, what are they reviewing? Well, they're reviewing something that is within the purview of the proper authority of the President of the United States. There's this conversation that we've been having about executive unitary theory, and this is a concept by which the President of the United States would have control over the executive branch, over the administration for which he oversees the executive branch. You see, we have these civil service protections, you understand. We can't fire people because the law says you can't fire people that the president has to hire. I mean, how can you not fire someone that you have to hire and that you have that works for you? That makes no sense. So, the president of the United States should have the authority to be able to hire and fire executive branch agencies at will. That is a proper authority of the President of the United States, in my opinion. And, judicial review, checks and balances, these are concepts that we've been taught since Schoolhouse Rock days. But the lawful and legal authority of the President of the United States, you have to understand, too, so many laws are in conflict with one another. So, Ayn Rand says that, logic does not contradict itself. Okay, well, when you have two laws that are written to be opposed to one another, who wins, right? In that sense, like, how do you achieve justice here is a big question. But, let's don't take it from me on this right-wing MAGA. I get all these haters, angry haters from leftists. Oh, you're just a maggot. You're just a partisan, all this kind of stuff. Well, don't listen to me, kids. No. I think that Donald Trump should ignore that court order and fire the executive branch people using it through Doge. I think that's a lawful, proper, constitutional authority of the President of the United States. But don't take it from me, the partisan, just the crazy radical right-winger. Oh, he's just a maggot. Here we go.
There has been thought, I believe, given to this. Senator Ron Wyden has already issued statements, for example, advising what we should do in a situation like this, which I concur, which is that I believe that the Biden administration should ignore this ruling. I think that the courts have the legitimacy and they rely on the legitimacy of their rulings. And what they are currently doing is engaged in an unprecedented and dramatic erosion of the legitimacy of the courts. It is the justices themselves, through the deeply partisan and unfounded nature of these rulings, that are undermining their own enforcement.
So you're saying the Biden administration should ignore this court, but what does that look like? What does that actually mean?
I think the interesting thing when it comes to a ruling is that it relies on.
Hey guys, so Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says the Biden administration should ignore the court. That was in 2023. Remember that all these heady years of 2023? So much happened in 2024 that I was looking at some story from 2023 the other day. I was reading it and I was like, 2023. I was like, what happened in 2023? And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, Jesus. 2024 was like 2024 was like a few years, I will say, like 3 years. That's what went on last year, 2024. President getting shot, Kamala Harris replacing Biden, all these huge news stories. I mean, it was just a wild year for news. So I'm thinking 2023, what was that like? 2024 came along, like hit us like a hammer. And now 2025 here, I mean, it's like a whole year of news has happened in just like a month. You know what I'm saying? Is anybody else, is your sense of time skewed, or is it just because trapped alone in a closet? I'm trapped alone in a closet. Good morning, pineapples. What's up, guys? Yo. Welcome to the Wake Up America show.
Looking very good, very nice.
I'm so glad and thankful to have so many cool friends who like to join me bright and early in the mornings like this live. Hey guys, how you doing? Luke Sacker, Hammerlager, Richard Bell, winner of our recent contest for our monthly subscribers. Hope you enjoy your nice little gift there. Dad Bod Baboon says, show us your boobs. Boo, no. Although they are looking very good and very nice because Stephanie and I have been working out like crazy, going to the YMCA. Dun, 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 dun. Young man, there's no need to feel down. I say, young man, there's no need to sit down. I say, young man, yes, you do to bow. I so need to be does everybody know the words? Does anybody else know the words? Unhappy. The news has just been so tremendous, and it's just been so wonderful that, yes, time is going by, but I'm trying to savor every sweet moment. I'm trying to appreciate all of the light that is being shined underneath rocks. We're uncovering so much. What they found, some new JFK files that had to be declassified, ones that we didn't even know about. I mean, I can't wait to read that stuff. I mean, the Trump just keeps the wins coming, and he keeps them up by the hour, and he serves them up fresh and hot like French fries from McDonald's. Remember, he's the fry cook in chief. This is the man.
How do you stop looking? I mean, we've already found it. We have a case in New York where a hotel has paid $59 million. $59 million because it's housing migrants, illegal migrants. All illegal, I believe.
And they were being paid twice the normal room rate at 100% occupancy.
Unbelievable.
So it's a racket.
Yeah.
So the government is paying, they're luxury hotels, mind you, right? They're paying double the amount for at 100% occupancy. Now, here's the thing. If I were a luxury hotel owner and somebody came to me and said, "Will you house these people if we pay you double for your rooms tonight?" Put yourself in the situation of the innkeeper. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not necessarily. Don't get mad. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. And Elon Musk and Donald Trump are coming after their game, which we love to see it. You love to see it, right? And now time for a short message. If you're looking at me on the side over here, I got my GoPro set up. You can see you're watching a live show, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this is not some pre-record thing. This is happening live here with you. Anything could happen, something weird, something strange, someone could fall off the wall, snot bubble could come up, I actually forget I'm on camera, I pick my nose, you know what I'm saying? No, just kidding. I would never. Gulf of America. It's all the rage. Remember this, your boy AP was ahead of the curve, okay, guys? Because look at my stupid hair. I got to put my MAGA hat on today. I should have put on some crap. So here's the thing. Your boy AP was ahead of the curve, all right? And everybody else is just rushing to cash up, okay? Last fall, was it like around Christmas time? Okay, so maybe a little later than that. So Christmas time, I started to come up with all the Doge stuff. We brought Brad on. Things have really changed around here. Our productivity has skyrocketed, and we got this. We made the Gulf of America merch. I mean, probably we were definitely in the top few people who came out with the Gulf of America merch. And it's spicy, it's hot. Some lady bought 20 Gulf of America products in one purchase yesterday. It was crazy. Stephanie and I were like, oh God. That's one day worth of sales there on the Wake Up America. That's good for us. But I freaking love this. I know I'm a shelf, but it's my own stuff. But I love my tumbler. It is so convenient. It's just a little quick grab and go. I put a lemon in there yesterday, and it's really insulated. So in the morning when I come back, it's still got the ice in it from the night before. So it's a good value, and it's awesome. I mean, who's going to say when they see your Gulf of America, let me just pull it up the big screen so you guys can see me here real quick. When somebody sees, this is what I suggest you do, is you get one of these Gulf of America mugs, and I like this one, but we also have a new version of this, which is the Jolly Roger, the American flag skull for all the badass bros or, badass chicky babies. But the Gulf of America collection is on the front page of forlibertyshop.com. Head over there now, grab yourself a delicious a cup of Founding Flavors coffee, or you could do, iced coffee. It's really insulated. It's really good quality. These little skinny tumblers, they fit in everything. Because if you're like me, you want to go on the road. Sometimes those huge cups or your thermos, it just doesn't fit. Now, I know some badass dudes out there be like, oh, me drive F-350. Okay, bro, you got plenty of room for the big Stanley cups. Okay, we do have Stanley cups, so get over there, broskies. And get one of these Gulf of America tumblers. They're at the front page of forlibertyshop.com. I like this so much, I might get another one. I think I'm going to get the Gulf of America, American flag, patriotic, low poly. You know, I work so hard for the money. I work so hard to give you guys good product. Go to forlibertyshop.com. Oh my God, Austin, no, you can't use an Asian accent on the Wake Up America show.
No, God,
That's
please,
racist.
No,
Somebody told me yesterday, don't play the Good Morning Pineapple.
morning pineapple.
Leftists are trying to cancel me. Elon Musk's platform has me hacked. Everybody's fighting against me. I must be on to something. Guys, I'm getting attacked from all sides. It's the Wake Up America show. It is cutting edge. We're ahead of the curve here. The news that you see is fresh. It's hot. It'll be on Fox News tomorrow. But today, if you watch the Wake Up America show, you're going to see and hear things that you'll see later on other news outlets. So why watch the other news outlets? Watch the Wake Up America show. You got me? And click that like button. Plus, you get to hang out with cool peeps like Joni Rankin, Bruce Birtwistle, Quest Fanning, Floby Tenderson, Luke Sacker, Richard Bell. These are real people, and they could be your real friends. I mean, you may not like everybody there, but I'm sure they'll like you. So introduce yourself in the chat. Say hi, everybody. If today's your first time, there's nothing that just makes me more pleased than punch than to see a new name drop a comment and to hang out with us in the chat. We got 1981 Luke. Yeah, that's my boy. Wizard Greg, see, we got a couple of new names in there, right? And spread us around to your friends, guys. Introduce the Wake Up America show to somebody that you like. If you feel like they won't like this,
Good morning pineapple. Looking very good, very nice.
if something like that might bother them, and the fact that they hear their news coupled with something like that, then, maybe we're not the show for you. I can't be everything to everybody. I can't, I may not be your cup of coffee, but I could be your cup of tea. I don't know how that phrase goes. Somebody fill me in on that one. Here we go.
And in this nation, I'm worried that we are on the verge of bloodshed. This is an attempt to take us back to a day that we do not want to go, and we will not go. So therefore, there will be conflict. I pray that the peace of God will win out and overcome the madness that is attempting to take over this nation. And I will say to you, beloved, no one likes violence, but sometimes violence is necessary. When Elon Musk forces his way into the United States Treasury and threatens to steal your personal information and your Social Security check, there is the possibility of violence. Sometimes the devil will act so ugly that you have no other choice but to get violent and fight. Well, someone might say, now, Reverend, you shouldn't be talking about violence. This isn't the Christian thing to do. Well, I will say, why not talk this way? Because Jesus did. Jesus said in this key verse, didn't it? The kingdom of heaven suffers what? Violence. And the who? The violent take it by force. The kingdom of God is a war zone. It is a battlefield. You did know this, right?
You did know this.
In this nation...
Burn in hell, Reverend. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. Johnny Rankin says that this is basically... Okay, guys. Yeah, he's terrible. He's horrible. He's awful. There it is. A holy man advocating for violence because of what Elon Musk is doing with the Department of Government Efficiency, which we fully support and applaud. The Department of Government Efficiency, that is our Department of Government Efficiency. This is our nation. We're making America great again. Welcome, my son. Welcome to the machine. Government worker says 19-year-old Doge employees are having 15-minute interviews with federal employees to, quote, justify their existence before determining if they should be fired. Oh, my God. It's like magic. It's an unnamed federal worker spoke out at a town hall event in Virginia saying this.
Speak just when I was is nervous and reticent to come up here and speak just for retaliation purposes.
We're nervous to come here and speak because of retaliation
I
purposes.
just wanted to share some things that are going on at my agency. In the last week, we had Elon Musk in our building, and after he visited the building, he called for a 50% cut of the entire agency. My colleagues are getting 15-minute one-on-one check-ins with 19, 20, and 21-year-old college graduates asking to justify their existence.
They're getting, my colleagues are getting these 15-minute one-on-one check-ins with 19, 20, and 21-year-old college graduates to justify their existence. I love it! I don't care. I love it. I don't care. I love it.
Are being told not to tell their staff
Supervisors
anything,
being told not to tell their staff anything,
Today
withhold
we got
information. Oh,
word
now you
that,
know what it's like to work in the private sector, bitch. We've all had these meetings.
Supervisors must now fill out a justification form.
Fill out a justification form.
30% ranking
Oh my
yank
God.
of all staff of my agency. And to top it all off, one of Musk's top lieutenants and his wife and young child have shacked up on the 6th floor of our agency and are living there.
He's crazy. He's crazy. I can't believe we're living in this world. It's a beautiful day in America. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful neighbor. Could Elon be mine? No, because he doesn't have a house. He doesn't live in a house. Right? I think there was talk that he was going to like look at getting a house. I thought he was sleeping at Uncle Phil's house in Beverly Hills, you know, like Mar-a-Lago. He was sleeping in the guest house. Remember when Will Smith was... Did the Fresh Prince always live in the guest house? Somebody remind me. I'm pretty sure that my 90s trivia here is coming back to me. I'm pretty sure that Will Smith, his character, lived in the house and the mansion, and then it was like a big deal when he like moved out to like the pool house as he got older. Does anybody remember their Fresh Prince of Bel-Air trivia? Aaron James WW001 says, justify employment, not existence. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Thank you, sir. I mean, is anybody else just loving this? I mean, drop some hearts in the chat, guys. Show me that you're alive, because I may be coming on strong, a little bit strong this morning, but it's just such an incredible moment. Like I've been surrounded by black pillars, right? I've always been a true believer that like the victory was around the corner, that big wins for liberty could be around the corner, that we needed to push up the timeline. And I was always, even in the early days of my campaigning, when I first was working at the Libertarian Party, you know, you go in and you meet with like these older party boss type people and stuff, and you go to their parties. And, you know, when you're young and idealistic, you're just getting to know everybody. You don't kind of quite understand how the game is played. And like, I just remember them always like just were so dismal that things like this. Oh, well, it's liberty in our lifetime, Austin. We like to say liberty in our lifetime. There is a marble plaque at the front of my house, and it says liberty by sunset. By tonight. We got to step this timeline up, old man. It's time for us to get moving. And of course, they don't like that, right? They don't like too much ambition. Because here's the thing. The problem with people, libertarians and like right-wing conservatives who wanted these things and stuff like that, many of them who like still fought against Trump, some of them still do, right? Is that they could not see the victory. They could not see the victory. And when you hear, like, there's so much resentment of young people in this country, so much resentment. I experienced it when I ran for president in 2016. There's so much resentment of young people in this country. It has to stop. Stop resenting young people. Like it's almost the whole structure of our society. You talk about boomerism and boomerific. Like it's intergenerational warfare that exists. And now you've got these 19, 20, 21-year-old college graduates, and they're telling PhDs, they're telling people with master's degrees who work for the government. These Harry Balls is going to tell them, 19-year-old Harry Balls is firing me from the Federal Emergency Management Agency. I love it, guys. Give us a freaking roar. I don't want to blow the microphone out, but I want to scream, because it's go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Donald Trump is here. Away, you lonely people, you'll make America more great than ever. It's the Wake Up America show. Everybody sing, let's go. Go tell it on the mountain. Don't you want to get into it, man? You're going to have that black preacher vibe this morning. You got to follow through. Don't things like this, don't they just thrill you? Isn't it? Are you not entertained?
Supervisors must now fill out a justification form.
Fill out your justification form.
30% rank and
It's
yank
like a
of
movie.
all staff in my agency. And to top it all off, one of Musk's top lieutenants and his wife and young child have shacked up on the 6th floor of our agency and are living there.
I love that they call it Musk lieutenant.
The hallway's been blocked off with a special access list for people who can't get back there.
Hallway's been blocked off.
Queer and trans folks.
Queer and trans folks in my
are
agency
being
are being
doxxed
doxxed in public. Excuse me?
Their lives threatened.
Oh my God. It's just too good. It's just too good. It's too delicious. Good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. I'm Austin Peterson. I'm hanging out with Amy J. Eves, Luke Sacker, Clementine, Doug, Whitey White 14, Dad Bod Baboon, Luke, and so many other wonderful people. Steelbringer is here, BB for Liberty, First Class Scout. Brad Beckman, I want you to write me a letter today. Why do you exist here at the For Liberty Network? Brad, I see you in the chat. I want and I want it to be a nice essay form, and you're going to write it by hand, and it's going to be on cursive. It's going to be a piece of paper. It's just one page, Brad, and you're going to explain why you are necessary to the For Liberty Network. What do you say? Huh? No, that would be pretty evil. Clementine says, I have a thrill running up my leg like Chris Matthews. Yes, exactly. Me too. Well, the Democrats, they've just lost the plot completely. They're out of it. They have no concept or clue about what's really going on. And you know what? Frankly, in some ways, I'm kind of sad for them because look at this. Look at these bland NPC repeaters.
You've covered a lot of billionaires.
He's good at that. Yeah, he's good. He's good at the shiv. You know, he does the little shiv.
Sam Altman, just more out of sorrow than
I feel sorry.
Than anger.
I feel sorry because he's so unhappy and insecure. Like sort of the backhanded insult, I guess.
You've covered a lot of these folks, these tech billionaires. Are any of them happy?
I don't know, a couple of them. I think Tim Cook's happy. I don't know. Satya Nadella seems happy. I think ones that act like adults are happy, absolutely. But, you know, what Musk does is he's 53 years old now at this point, and he sort of engages in memes, dank memes, and stupid jokes and things like that. So the ones...
He engages in memes, dank memes. Excuse me, ma'am. Can we get I'm going to call a flag on the play here. Did you say dank meme, ma'am? Can you please define dank meme? Because you look like the person who would know and understand what a dank meme is. And if there's one thing you could say about Elon Musk, is that he is a very dank memer.
That haven't progressed beyond, 12 years old, emotionally, I think have a problem. And so they have insecurity. And I think Sam is right. And that's what happens when this happens. And so, there's a lot of people that are very happy.
Yeah, he changed his Twitter ID to like a juvenile joke earlier today, and then
he likes that.
Yeah, you like that? Oh, you like it like that? Mm-hmm. The way she's describing it's almost like a lot of these liberals. Remember when they accused somebody of saying like they wanted to date AOC or something like that? Like they were calling her out because they wanted to date her. Who was that? Was that Elon or was it somebody else? And then somebody made like a romantic supercut of like Elon and AOC flirting. I'll see if I can find it because it's funny as hell. Steelbringer, bring in the steel. Crumb. I do not pray for you, Crumb. I have no tongue for it. Good morning. Nationwide injunctions are not provided for in the Constitution. They were first used in the 60s. Their use is controversial. Thank you for bringing the steel. Judge Napolitano will bring the gold when he comes with his sword of gold, and or maybe we'll do a glass sword. What should we do? Mass immune, or like should it be a katana, or should it be like a broadsword? We are Western, so it should be perhaps a broadsword, the bringer of steel. Norsemen are okay, but like, kind of gay samurai running around with their like silky kimonos and katanas, maybe not. No? Austin, too far? I'm allowed to criticize the Japanese. I've been there. No joke, though. I do love being lectured to people about, like, World War II history and stuff like that. They're like, oh, let me tell you about World War II and stuff like that. And it's like, one of my primary missions in my life was always to travel to Japan and to experience their culture. And the first thing that we went to, though, was their Imperial War Museum and we went to Hiroshima, of course. Okonomiyaki pancakes, very delicious. But I wanted to understand their culture and to understand their history more, especially because Japan is so intertwined economically and now culturally with the United States. And it's a beautiful partnership. It's a beautiful relationship. But, you always get lectured to by people about World War II, and they just, and then I'll be like, oh, I went to the museum where they had, their Imperial War Museum next to the palace, and talked to them about a little bit about some of the exhibits they have there, and they're just clueless, right? And it's kind of like, the people who say, oh, well, Hitler would have, if he had just invaded, if he hadn't invaded his neighbors, he would have been just fine. And it's kind of like, bitch, are you sure about that, right? The people who lived there in Germany were sure, had to go underground and hide in Germany were not doing well. There were, so it's a good morning, and we are having a fantastic day because Aaron James 001 is joining us today, and LB Struger. LB Struger says, I'm here often, but don't comment very much because I'm getting ready for work and driving, but I'm a pineapple, I guess. You're a pineapple, yes! Thank you. See, there's always lurkers. But we want to get more of these lurkers to come out of the shadows and join us on the Wake Up America show. See, some people they're not for the pineapples. Other people are. Again, I can't make everybody happy, but, and I do appreciate the feedback. And sometimes you guys give me good feedback, but more often than not, you give me bad feedback because people love to criticize. But if you want to criticize me, you could do it. And the best way to do it is 573-319-1586. You can send me a text and say, hey, Austin, this is, what I think you suck about your appearance. I don't like how you look. You need to shave your mustache. People always love to kind of style you. In a way, you sort of are it's a Barbie dress up situation when you're live streamer or you're on television. People, they love to prick and poke and peck and tell you what you should look like exactly, right? And what's wrong with what you're doing. They see that as their right. And to some extent, they're right. That's kind of part of the fun of the show is get to play Barbie dress up. People who watch shows, they basically are they're like Barbie. They're you're playing with Barbie essentially. Not the shitty Greta Gerwig movie, the hot and sexy ones from the 1960s, when they still wanted Barbie to look kind of hot. Good morning, Cantina crew. WYO Wildeman. YO Wildeman. I love it. Good morning, pineapples. Looking very good and very nice. The Democrats are distraught. They've lost the plot. I love this story.
Like a juvenile joke earlier today. And then,
yeah, he likes that.
Yeah, he likes that.
I mean, I'm not offended.
He likes the Harry Balls joke.
Stupid.
It's stupid.
Well, you've got it. I mean, I think the thing is he's underneath all that. He's quite a crafty and strategic person. And so some of it is performative. Some of it is deep insecurity. Some of it is he likes the power and he likes the attention.
Also known as A.L. Wilda. I know it's wild, but I like Wilda, like wildebeest. You know what I'm saying? Come on, guys. Come on. Have a laugh. Everybody lighten up. Jokes. President Trump signed an executive order yesterday saying jokes are legal. Even bad jokes are legal, and jokes that are very, very offensive are legal. It's all legal again, guys. America's back.
If you have a contract and you're in a regular business, you end the contract in 3 months. It's a consultant. Here's a contract for 3 months, but it goes on for 20 years. And the guy doesn't say that he got money for 20 years, They don't say it. They just keep getting checks month after month. And you have various things like that. And even much worse than that, actually, much worse. And I guess you call that incompetence, maybe.
Yeah.
It could be corruption. It could be deals made on both sides, where the guy gets the money, he kicks. I think there's a lot of kickback here. I see a lot of kickback here.
There's a lot of kickbacks.
Yeah, tremendous kickback, because nobody could be so stupid to give out some of these contracts. So he has to get a kickback.
Dude, that's a big accusation right there. Trump is alleging kickbacks going on. That's criminal. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. Good morning, pineapples. Everybody file on in here. The crowd really starts to kind of get big on the Wake Up America show right around 8 a.m. Central, so we're starting to approach that peak time. Judge Napolitano will be joining us at 8 a.m. We're going to talk to him about the judges who are trying to halt the Department of Government Efficiency's progress as they march through the institutions. There is a marching through of the institutions. And it's happening by the good guys, and you love to see it. We knew that the good guys could win. I always believed in the victory. I always believed that right around the corner was the chance for us to uncover the fraud, the waste, the abuse, and just even in uncovering that, let the truth be known, because it shall set you free. Amen. Amen. Well, the left is freaking out. They're screaming. Tell you, they're crying. There's a wailing. There's a gnashing of teeth going on with the Democratic left, and it's because we have finally caught them up. I saw some post yesterday. Let me see if I retweeted it. This is about Google searches in Washington, D.C. Get this. This is from somebody at Rasmussen Reports, Mark Mitchell. He says that over 3 times more people in D.C. are Googling criminal defense lawyer than anywhere else in the U.S. Let me pull up this chart for you here real quick, guys. I'm doing this on the fly. This is live. I'm pulling this up for you. Here we go. Mark Mitchell, Rasmussen Reports, over 3 times more people in D.C. are Googling criminal defense lawyer than anywhere else in the U.S. Oh, we're coming for you. We're going to get you. Come on, Eileen, don't you know what I mean? District of Columbia searches for criminal justice. They're in trouble. Comedy of them are, and all they do is endlessly parrot constitutional crisis. The bureaucracy has more power than elected representatives. Those days are done.
But you can't have an autonomous federal bureaucracy. You have to have one that is responsive to the people. That's the whole point of a democracy. And if you looked at if you asked looked at the founders today and said, what do you think of the way things have turned out? Well, we have this unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government, which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative. And this is. Here's
an example of this. I wrote an article. It's coming out on AMP America, I think, today. Elizabeth Warren helped to mastermind. Before she was a senator, she worked with Barack Obama and created the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And she brainchilded it. This back when she was only making $100,000 a year at that point in time. Oh, I'm just a little humble public servant. Now she's worth it's like $60 million or $600 million. Somebody double check me on that one. Go to the Open Secrets, or somebody posted online. So she brainchilds this Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And here's the thing, the insidious thing, the particular evil of this institution. So she starts this institution, then she gets elected to the Senate. I remember I met her right after she got elected in Washington, D.C., and I was like, this lady's no good. She's going to do a lot of bad things. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, it's supposed to be about regulating banks, okay? And every agency needs a budget in order to spend money. But where do they get their money? Well, who has the power of the purse? Well, Congress, right? Congress is supposed to create appropriations bills and then fund the institutions of government. Wait, not the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Oh, no. When the CFPB needs money, it doesn't go to the U.S. Congress. Right? There's no oversight from the U.S. Congress when it comes to their budget. Why? Where do they get their money from? Well, is it handed to them private sector? Well, kinda. It's the Federal Reserve. Yeah. So they get their, yeah, boo, exactly, boo. And I can't tell you how many times members of Congress, duly elected members of Congress, are asking to audit them or asking for basic information that they're statutorily supposed to have even, and the CFPB just says, no, you can't have access to that. Those are our elected representatives. Those are the people we voted for. That's a government institution. They're not getting their money through appropriations. They're getting it from some shady deal. And no agency has the right to refuse it. Their budget. right? Not even the Federal Reserve has the right to refuse the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It's the most unconstitutional of any agency that has maybe even ever existed. And it was it was Elizabeth Warren's baby. Now, here's the thing. She created a poison pill for herself, and now she has to suffer the consequences. The beauty, the Shakespearean levels of irony are that when they created the institution, that the CFPB did have the right to set its own budget, and now guess what? Now that Donald Trump's people are in charge of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, guess what they're setting the budget to? 0. And Elizabeth Warren's freaking out because they're done. Just as easily as it was created, it shall be overturned. And I can't wait to hear Judge Napolitano's take on this one, and we're going to have less than 10 minutes. We're going to have a nice conversation today. Thank you, Quest Fanny. Loving the Gray's Revolt for Liberty. Yes, as you can see here in the background here, I'm advertising my lovely products at forlibertyshop.com. Do not sleep on forlibertyshop.com. It is not just another merch store. It is like one of the fastest growing, best, highest quality product, fastest delivery service, like barring Amazon. We can't compete with Amazon on that. But we are a super high quality, patriotic merch store. And some of the stuff is obviously nice to haves, but some of the things are gotta haves, but some of the things also are need to haves. If you are already drinking coffee or tea, please stop drinking these beverages from people who hate you. It's kind of like, baking the gay Nazi cake from 2016 when Gary Johnson wanted to force the Jew to bake the Nazi cake, and they wanted to force the Christian baker. Why would you give money to people who hate you? Why would you do that, right? Like, don't give money to people who don't like you. Give money to people who do, and support with your dollars the things that you believe in. Build a parallel economy. That's what everybody else is doing here on the right. And quite frankly, I think that, almost 2 generations now I've been freedom fighting. I think I'm worth it, and I deserve your trust and your custom. I've earned it. And I provide a superior product. And I have an independent third party stepping in, verifying the quality of my tea and my coffee. So when you see those 5 stars and 4.5 stars and 5 stars and the incredible reviews written by real customers, and then you actually try it, if you try 1 box or 1 bag, you will switch to my brand. You will. I guarantee it. So go to forlibertyshop.com, buy a box of Founding Flavors coffee if that's your thing, buy a bag of delicious tea. You can see the 4 Liberty collections on the front page, and then the coffee is also in the mega menu. You can find Founding Flavors. I'm drinking Madisonian Morning because I believe in the Constitution of the United States of America. God bless. God bless. God bless. I just wanted to grill, for God's sakes, but now here I am fighting the government on a live stream, hacked from X, banned from the TikTok, and promoted on rumble.com, and loving every moment of life because I've got a beautiful baby and a wife. I have everything that matters, and I got you guys every morning, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. That's the Wake Up America show. That's me, baby. AP. Don't you love me? Then buy my coffee.
There's crazy things like just cursory examination of Social Security, and we've got people in there that are 150 years old. Now, do you know anyone who's 150? I don't know. Okay. They should be on the Guinness Book of World Records. They're missing out. So, that's a case where, I think they're probably dead. It's my guess. Or they should be very famous.
We're gonna. Man, I got so many more great clips.
At a high level,
I'm running out of time.
Okay, well, what? How exactly? What are the 2 ingredients that are really necessary?
He's literally that guy from Office Space that was sitting down at the meetings and was like, "What is it that you say you do here?"
Sorry, in order to cut the budget deficit in half from 2 trillion to 1 trillion, and it's really 2 things: competence and caring. And if you add competence and caring, you'll cut the budget deficit in half. And I fully expect to be scrutinized and get a daily proctology exam, basically. Might as well just camp out there. So it's not like I think I can get away with something. I'll be scrutinized nonstop. But with the support of the president, we can cut the budget deficit in half from 2 trillion to 1, and then with deregulation, because there's a lot of sort of regulations that don't ultimately serve the public good. We need to free the builders of America to build. And if we do that, that means I think we can get the economic growth to be maybe 3-4%, maybe 5%. And that means if you can get $1 trillion of economic growth and you can cut the budget deficit by $1 trillion, between now and next year, there is no inflation. There's no inflation in 26.
Okay, guys, what do you say? I'm going to go to commercial break here, okay? When we get back, Judge Napolitano. George is going to have to go. But Judge Napolitano will talk about these judges trying to block Donald Trump firing of federal employees. We'll talk about that when we get back. Go to forlibertyshop.com, guys. Buy the coffee, buy the tea, because you love me. On the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network.
Are you tired of the strange radioactive effects of leftist culture? Do you ever wonder what happened to good old-fashioned American values? Well, fear no more, because there's a new force fighting back against the cultural rot of today. Introducing Culturama, a right-of-center talk show that's taking back the future today. Hosted by none other than blonde bombshell herself, Daniela Pensack. She's not just talking, she's taking culture back, with sharp takes, brilliant guests, and a few surprises along the way. Tune in to the live video podcast twice a week, because the future doesn't have to be weird. It can be Culturama.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
Conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways? Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the shot can put chemicals in you that will make you more sensitive to 5G? Do you love America? Do you want more freedom? Do you like smoking hot redheaded libertarians? Then the AP for Liberty shop is for you! Check out all the awesome new merch and have a happy new year! Fight the deep state, reject the Antichrist! Visit AP for Liberty shop and get your patriotic merchandise now, or the deep state wins!
Good morning. Rise and freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. You know, it's just so refreshing to listen to Elon Musk talking in the White House about accountability, about taxpayer dollars not going overseas, and to talk about waste and fraud and abuse. I saw this chart, I think I posted it a little bit earlier in the show, where it was the number of Google searches for criminal justice lawyers in Washington, D.C. is the highest of the entire country. So in other words, yeah, this is from Rasmussen, criminal defense lawyers. Over 3 times more people in D.C. are Googling criminal defense lawyers than anywhere else in the United States. Well, if they've done nothing wrong, I'm sure they have nothing to hide. I think that the judge certainly doesn't like it when we use this phrase against the private people, but what does Judge Napolitano think when we're talking about government employees, prosecuting government employees? I'm sure he has some strong opinions about that. He's the host of the Judging Freedom Show. He joins us here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Central Time. Read his columns at judgenap.com. He's my good friend, the left side of my brain, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Austin. A pleasure to be with you, my dear friend. I mean, 90% of the federal government shouldn't be there, but it is not a crime for them to do their jobs because Congress has authorized it. The criminal acts are those of Congress who trash the Constitution, with the exception of people like Congressman Thomas Massey and Senator Rand Paul, once in a while Senator Mike Lee. But for the most part, it's a big government party with 2 wings, a Republican wing and a Democrat wing. And they've authorized all this stuff, so they must unauthorize it.
I mean, do you not take any special pleasure in watching Elizabeth Warren being hoisted by her own petard?
No, of course. Well, emotionally, I do. But the judicial side of my brain says, look, the Department of Education should not exist. It is not authorized by the Constitution. It is the epitome of fraud, waste, and abuse. But it exists lawfully, and it can only be undone by the Congress, not by the president and not by Elon Musk. If the president and Elon Musk could undo whatever they think is unconstitutional or wasteful, that would make the president a monarch rather than a president.
So that which is constitutional, that which is legal, that which is moral, it is moral to fire most of these government employees.
Absolutely. I mean, that which is moral has nothing to do with that which is constitutional, and that which is legal has nothing to do with that which is constitutional. It is legal for the NSA to go before the FISA court and say, Austin Peterson ordered a book from a bookstore in London, therefore he spoke to a foreign person, therefore we want to surveil all of his communications out to the 6th degree. That is legal because Congress has said so. It is profoundly unconstitutional because Congress didn't have the authority to do that. It violates the 4th Amendment. And it is utterly immoral because it invades your natural right to privacy, whether Congress has authorized it or not. So something can be legal and at the same time immoral and unconstitutional. That is most of the federal government today.
If the government agency itself, which should have been created by a constitutional amendment, if it in and of itself is unconstitutional, then isn't the law in conflict with one another? The president of the United States is to do well, first he should do what is moral, but then he also has to question the legal and then the constitutional. So, for example, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, this is an agency that it has no oversight from the Congress. They get their money from the Federal Reserve. I mean, that which has been created by the president can be destroyed by the next president. So in many ways, what Trump is doing is absolutely in line with his proper legal, constitutional, and moral system that people like you and I stand by.
Well, all of that would be accurate if the Supreme Court had not found the Consumer Protection Finance Board constitutional. In my opinion, that was an erroneous decision, but it's still a decision. That means it can't be undone by Trump. It can only be undone by the Congress. I'm scratching my head, Austin, because President Trump is on his honeymoon, so to speak. He has majorities in both houses of Congress. All right, the one in the House is razor thin. Now is the time. Now is the time for an omnibus piece of legislation that gets rid of 2/3 of the federal government by a vote in the Congress. Oh, they may have to tinker with things in the House in the Senate because of the filibuster rule, and then reconciliation overrides the filibuster. I don't want to get into the weeds about how this is done. But if this were to be done by Congress, then all the litigation that Trump is rightfully complaining about and all the interference with what he's doing by federal judges goes away. Because the opening line of Article 1 of the Constitution, the first word is all, A-L-L, all legislative power herein delegated resides in a Congress of the United States. The president cannot make law. He cannot fail to spend what Congress has authorized him to spend, and he certainly can't delegate his powers away to a private person who has a $200 billion contract with the Defense Department.
But if he's a dictator, Judge, then he's certainly the benevolent dictator of Hans Hermann Hoppe's description, and of Curtis Yarvin and Moldbug, and of Peter Thiel, and of the big tech, the big Silicon Valleys. Their ethos, which is sometimes libertarian and oftentimes not, but their ethos is one of this concept of a unitary executive. And I can't remember if I've asked you about your concept of the concept of the unitary executive. These civil service protections should not be in place for bureaucrats who work underneath in executive branch agencies.
I happen to agree. The unitary executive theory was authored by a young lawyer in the Justice Department who was my Princeton classmate and debating partner, and today is on the Supreme Court of the United States, Sam Alito. That theory that everybody in the executive branch should work for the government, for the president, and no one in the executive branch should be independent and immune from the president's reach. That has never been adopted by Congress. I am convinced that that is absolutely consistent with what the framers intended. The idea that there's this body of human beings who can pull the levers of power in the executive branch, and they are not transparent, they are not accountable, and the president can't control them, is antithetical to the executive branch of the Constitution. But to bring that about, it must be done legally. Again, what I said earlier, now's the time to bring it about, Mr. President. If you're listening to this, and maybe somebody in the White House is, now is the time to craft that legislation. By the way, now is the time for the states to call a convention of the states to allow me to rewrite the Constitution.
Judge Andrew Napolitano, ladies and gentlemen, we are live after all. There is an audience of people who are tuning in. They're all big fans of yours, Judge. And God, I get so much out of these conversations. It's just, I don't live on the East Coast anymore, Judge. I don't get to walk into a lecture from the Cato Institute every now and then. But to have these conversations with you really sustains me. intellectually every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Central Time. You've just really been a big advocate for us by being so generous with your time, and we're so grateful. Everybody say thank you to Judge Andrew Napolitano and watch his show, Judging Freedom. Read his column at judgenap.com. We are old friends, the judge and I. We have ridden many a train side by side between New York and D.C. together and had many conversations over some good scotch. And I'm pretty sure we've enjoyed some good meals together, too. One of which was, I believe, a steak dinner at one of the nicest steakhouses. It was a Christmas dinner. I will never forget it. One of the greatest nights of my life. He's very generous. Judge Andrew Napolitano is a weekly guest of the Wake Up America show, and obviously one of my biggest idols and inspirations I've ever had. And certainly, Judge, you have many fans out there. I see the chat, singing your praises, and it's so exciting to see your independent venture, Judging Freedom, being a tremendous success. You deserve it. You've worked hard, and you've had an incredible career. You have incredible stories to tell. I mean, a full-blown autobiography, I think, needs to be done. But I also feel like maybe one day I should also write a biography. If you want to work with me on it, we could do it. Do some interviews. But you've certainly lived a full life, and God bless you, Judge, because you've always fought for liberty. You always fought for individualism. You never back down. It's not popular to love Ayn Rand in this country, Judge. But, we have to be warriors sometimes for causes that are extremely unpopular, because the Constitution was created not just to restrain the government, but to restrain the whims of the people, was it not? To restrain this populism, this new populism, Judge. A lot of them want to make radical rewrites. Some of the ideas are great. Some of the ideas are not so good, Judge.
I agree with everything you've said. I'm not necessarily endorsing the flattery, but it's very generous of you, and thank you for what you just said. I would love to be the chair of a constitutional convention which clarified things in the Constitution, excuse me, particularly with respect to the powers of Congress and the presidency. That might be a pipe dream, but it's a way of articulating my view that these things need to be resolved legally and not just by popular whim.
The sad thing is, though, Judge, is that, Javier Milei talked about this, where, libertarians, where do we engage with in the fight for liberty? And one of the spheres of conversation has been this question of the role of libertarianism as a legal theory, right? As a concept of legalism, or a question of a cultural war for liberty. We struggle against big government, and so much of the victory is won or lost, Judge, before the fight for the legislation has ever happened. Like with the ban for TikTok is a perfect example. The hearts and minds were set against it. The American people, talk about the whims of the populist majority. The American people were strongly in favor of the banning of TikTok. That's why Congress passed it with such an overwhelming majority. It flew to Joe Biden's desk, right? The tyranny can come quickly. The claws of fear and of doubt and some of its mendacity, right. Judge, pure mendacity too, right?
This is another example. This is another example of the Supreme Court not doing its job. Who the hell is Congress to tell you what venue you can go to research and to communicate? Those are acts, researching and communicating, profoundly protected by the First Amendment. Your good friend, I know it irritates you when I say that, but I say it because I love you. Senator Josh Hawley spearheaded that because we can't allow the Chinese government to get into the mobile devices of our children. That would be competition with the NSA, wouldn't it, Senator Hawley? That second part of the argument, of course, was not made, as far as I know.
The Constitutional Convention question, it's funny. I was reading a quote by, I think, was it Hindenburg? No, it was Bismarck, Otto von Bismarck. And he says that politics is the art of the possible, of the next best, right? Or the second best, right? And it's, the things that you and I want, we'll always have to sort of jockey for to an extent. Like we have our intrinsic beliefs. We want to abolish the Federal Reserve, almost every federal agency at the top. Maybe I would keep the Department of State. Maybe they'd have to fight before it. But in order for us to even move towards our direction, we do have to make concessions in some places and somewhere if we want to get things across the finish line, and it's easier to sort of throw stones from the sidelines sometimes versus being the man in the arena, actually trying to get these things across. And that's why I have such great respect for Javier Milei. He kind of demonstrates that our ideas can win a popular majority of a nation. And Argentina is not the United States, mind you, Judge. Right? You live in New Jersey, and that's almost a whole country on itself. America is very diverse at a state level. But in terms of national victories for libertarianism, I see victories for libertarianism happening primarily as a cause from the Trump administration, despite the processes not being followed. The outcomes certainly are and would be libertarian. So I do agree with you, and my heart is with you in the question of the processes, which I do agree the processes ought to be followed, but the processes aren't holy. Right? Only God and only the Bible is holy. The Constitution itself is not holy. We can overthrow it. The Declaration of Independence says we can overthrow it. And Jefferson wanted it to happen every 20 years. So I guess I see so many beautiful things happening in the White House, Judge, and I wonder, in your hearts, emotionally, you must sometimes soar when you see the pain on these bureaucrats' faces.
Well, look, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Is it perfect? No. Are there parts of the Constitution that are unconstitutional? In my view, yes. The taxation of individuals, that's the 16th Amendment, and the election of the Senate by popular vote, that's the 17th Amendment. Those are unconstitutional because they are profoundly at odds with what the framers intended. However, they were properly ratified, and they are proper parts of the Constitution. So you can disagree with parts of it. But when you take a solemn oath, as Donald Trump just did on January 20th, to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, he's obliged to do that. Now, there are certain things he can do. Yesterday, for example, he directed the Department of Justice not to prosecute Americans for bribing foreign officials in order to allow the Americans to establish their businesses in foreign countries. Because Trump is of the view, and remember, he has many, many assets in foreign countries, that bribery outside the United States is a legitimate way of doing business. I happen to agree with him. Bribery is the free market. But for him to instruct the Justice Department not to prosecute this, there are people sitting in federal prisons who are convicted of this, is truly revolutionary and utterly laudatory. I applaud it to the skies.
It's fascinating.
Didn't see it anywhere in the mainstream press. I'm surprised.
No, I know. It's just fascinating, though, Judge, because every day I'm sort of posed with these moral quandaries. Because if he follows his oath, he takes his oath to follow the Constitution. If he follows it to the letter, many of the things that are constitutional are profoundly immoral, like enforcing the income tax, for example, right? Sending out the IRS agents to our homes. So if he decided not to enforce the tax laws, if he decided not to come after us anymore for the tax laws that he is obligated to enforce, he will not send the IRS agents to the home. He would be breaking his oath to obey the Constitution, but he would be doing something profoundly moral, in my opinion.
Quite correct. It's an example of where the Constitution immorally gives the government power to do immoral things, like taking our property. Man, I'm with Murray Rothbard on this. Taxation is theft. All taxation is theft. And when I used to say that at Fox, I would always get in trouble, as you know. I said it anyway.
You good, Judge. Stick to it. And I'd love to talk to you about why taxation is theft too. But let's finish these topical matters, and maybe we'll have a few minutes. I know I can't monopolize your time because Newsweek demands so much of you.
I have about 4 or 5 minutes left before
Judge.
I have to run to a studio.
Okay, so I love these conversations, Judge. We talked about what's legal. We talked about what's moral, what's constitutional. We talked about the weak spot, the blind spot of the Trump administration now is that they need to get a big, actual, beautiful bill across the finish line, an omnibus to actually put these changes into law. But do you have any other sort of advice, any other pitfalls, things to look for? I guess a big question I have for you, Judge, is his biggest enemy going to be the people that he appointed to the Supreme Court? Amy Coney Barrett, perfect example. Are they likely to be his biggest impediments?
it's hard for me to predict what they will do. I am hearing that the 9 of them were furious at J.D. Vance for suggesting that judges don't have to be obeyed. I mean, that suggestion itself is enough for him to lose his license to practice law. Lawyers cannot advocate unlawful behavior with impunity. So I don't know where any of this is going to go. The court wrote what I thought was an outrageous and unconstitutional opinion on presidential immunity. Now, it was not written just for him. It's the law of the land for him and whoever succeeds him. It also applies to Joe Biden and George W. Bush and Bill Clinton, living ex-presidents as well. So I can't predict which way they're going to go. I thought for sure they would take the First Amendment approach on TikTok. I was wrong. So it's hard to predict, but I would take issue on your terminology of referring to Justice Barrett as his opponent. I mean, her job, I mean, we have checks and balances in this country, and it is the judiciary is the anti-democratic branch. Its job is to preserve, protect, and defend life, liberty, and property from the majority, whether that's the president or the Congress, and not to look at themselves as impediments or opponents.
Judge, I thank you for that, by the way. I appreciate that. That's why you're here, to impart your wisdom. We're learning from you every week here, every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time. Judge Napolitano very generously donates his time. Judge, can you give us a sneak preview of what's coming up on your podcast for everybody to hear?
Oh, I have. I've already had my 2 heavy hitters yesterday. Scott Ritter and Colonel McGregor were delving into the issue of Gaza and the president's nonsensical suggestions there. Today, I have the investigative journalist Aaron Mate, the ex-CIA agent Phil Giraldi, and the terrific journalist who comes to us from Moscow. He was a serious libertarian. He's also a hoot if you ever want to interview him, Pepe Escobar. So it's a good day for me. Tomorrow, Professor Jeffrey Sachs and Professor John Mearsheimer.
Judge Andrew Napolitano. Visit his website, judgenap.com, for all the latest and greatest. Read his weekly columns. And, of course, join us here every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time. He is the best. Judge Napolitano, true North libertarian. Thank you, Judge. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Austin. God love you. All the best.
Thank you. And you as well, sir. Enjoy these interviews with Judge Andrew Napolitano. Make sure you click that like button and subscribe if today is the first time watching the show. Yes, the word is out. AP is going to testify the demons, heading over to the Capitol this morning after the show to go testify in favor of abolishing Missouri's state income tax. What say you? Taxation being theft. I need to write it. Who's going to write me a piece? I only get 5 to 6 minutes. It's easy. You just get up there and say the same thing that I've been saying for the last 20 years. Say that the income tax is a morally abhorrent, monstrous infliction upon the people of the state of Missouri. And I do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Speaking of testimony, is Tulsi Gabbard getting confirmed this morning? You'd love to see it. So many wonderful things to celebrate happening in Missouri and happening on the national level. The Democrats, well, they're just not quite as happy as we are these days.
Wow, wow, wow. Look at this crowd. Elon Musk, where are you? Bring your ass over here so you can see who's here and what we're doing. We're not afraid of you. We know that you are the co-president now of the United States of America. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to follow very closely what he's doing and how he has done it. First of all, we're here at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. What is it? This is so important. Prior to this being organized in the Dodd-Frank reforms, consumers didn't have any place to really file complaints. They didn't have anywhere to go when the biggest banks in America was ripping them off. The student loans were being undermined. They didn't have any place to go. Why does Elon Musk want to get rid of all of this? Because he's a thief. He's a gangster. He brings his billionaire friends along with him because they think that they can take over this country. And Trump has said, you give me enough money, you can have it. Why?
I've been told I have 30 seconds, so I am going to tell you that we do have to. I don't swear in public very well, but we have to fuck Trump. Please.
I'm going to use the F word too. She is very unfuckable. That's the left. Unfuckable women. They are so unfuckable.
Which side are you on?
I'm on Trump's.
Are you on?
Not on the kitty diddlers.
Which side are you on?
I'm all with Elon Musk. I voted for him.
Which side are you on?
I'm with Donald Trump, baby. Ow! Sexy. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? It's the Wake Up America show, guys. Are we having fun? These are Democrats reading the Constitution and failing spectacularly.
The preamble of the Constitution says, we, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, promote tranquility, provide for the common defense.
Yeah, he's filling it in now, baby, because they don't know what the hell the preamble of the Constitution says. Which side are you on? No, I'm not on Jamie Raskin's side. Which side are you on? It's the Wake Up America show. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. We're having a blast. Ask yourself, sir, could you?
Can you bless me with something?
Oh, gosh.
Money-wise. Please.
Can you suck it?
Ooh, man, this show just got PG-13 in a hurry. Guys, Gulf of America merch exclusively at 4libertyshop.com. Gulf of America, wakeupAmericaShow.com. Luke Sacker, what is this, third grade? Yes. Good morning, Luke. It's Good Morning Pineapple show.
Good morning, pineapple. Looking very good, very nice. Good morning, pineapple. Looking very good, very nice.
Good morning, pineapples. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching the Wake Up America show. We're so glad and thankful to have you here. Do me a Flavor Flav. Click the like button, and if today's your first time watching the Wake Up America show, click the follow button as well. The Wake Up America show is supported by viewers and listeners like you. See that 4LN logo, that little bug we call it in the industry in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen? 4LN. That's the 4 Liberty Network, guys. 4 Liberty Network. The 4 Liberty Network is me, it's Culturama, it's Liberty Tonight, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and all of this funded by the support of viewers like you. This isn't PBS, this is true voluntary capitalism. It's me, you, Steffi, baby Hazel. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? You on the Wake Up America show side, baby. So go to 4libertyshop.com, guys. Engage in some commerce. And if you don't, well, if you decide not to buy, I understand, but no offense, but...
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Yeah. Some commie gobbledygook. What? You don't want my incredible Gulf of America tumbler? You don't want to drink my delicious Founding Flavors coffee? Let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something. Look at this. Don't you want this sitting on your desk at work? Founding Flavors coffee. How cool are you going to look if you bring this to work? Founding Flavors Coffee, Franklin's Electric Elixir, beautiful. The signing of the Constitution made a beautiful design on the back. Let me just read this to you briefly. Electrify your senses with Franklin's Electric Elixir, a medium roast embodying the spark of freedom with its rich hazelnut and caramel tones. A haven of warmth in winter's cold. And baby, it's cold outside. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Now, Founding Flavors Coffee, Electric Elixir, definitely one of my top favorites of coffees at the shop at forlibertyshop.com. But guys, many people don't drink coffee, and I understand that. So just like the guy who was Elvis's manager who sold I Hate Elvis buttons for people who didn't like Elvis, I sell For Liberty for people who don't drink coffee and they really just like to drink tea. So ask yourself, which side are you on? Coffee or tea? Just drop the comment in the chat. Are you a coffee person or are you a tea? You want coffee, tea, or me? You can have all three. That rhymed. Boston Harbor Black. That's my favorite. Boston Harbor Black over at forlibertyshop.com. Delicious. I saw Quest was enjoying the Earl Grey earlier on the show. He was talking about the Earl Grey that he was drinking. For me, it's a good cup of English breakfast tea. If I'm not drinking Founding Flavors, I'm drinking Boston Harbor Black. It's delicious. Get it at forlibertyshop.com. And Shadow Collector, so you could drink it out of your Gulf of America tumbler. But here's the thing. The tumbler that you see right there, those sharks, they're selling crazy. Some lady bought like 20 like hats and mugs and tumblers and all kinds of stuff yesterday. Check this out. The new design is so schmexy. Yes, it's a schmexy design, isn't it? Yes, you like the Gulf of America. American flag, patriotic skull. No Polly. Little Polly. Not Polly. Gulf of America merch available exclusively at forlibertyshop.com. Are you going to the beach? Let's go to the beach. Beach. Let's go away. Gulf of America shark beach towels selling like crazy. I'm telling you what, guys. And you can't think of a better cause to support. True patriotism, true libertarianism. Austin Peterson's Wake Up America show at forlibertyshop.com. Cup of coffee, quality dump. Good morning. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. LB Sugar. Harry Balls. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, baby?
Now, the disruptor in chief, Elon Musk, who apparently has adopted the alias, at least he changed his social media handle to Harry Balls, tweeted this morning, democracy in America is being destroyed by judicial coup. An activist judge is not a real judge. And as now, the disruptor.
This is the America we live in right now. Speaking of Harry Balls.
All Republicans in the Senate voted tonight to advance the nomination of Tulsi Gabbard to be Director of National Intelligence.
What's funny?
It's like saying that I could be a defensive lineman on the Philadelphia Eagles. Sure.
Are you sure, Rachel? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
It's really so, and he's jealous of everyone. Now he's getting rid of the penny. He's even jealous of Lincoln.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he's so small, so petty.
He's small and petty. Absolutely.
Please. Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
This court has lost legitimacy. They have burned whatever legitimacy they may still have had after their gun decision, after their voting decision, after their union decision. They just took the last of it and set a torch to it with the Roe versus Wade opinion. I believe we need to get some confidence back in our court, and that means we need more justices on the United States Supreme Court.
Yeah, duh, exactly. They're going crazy. They're losing it. Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
And I gotta say something to you, because you voted no on Tulsi Gabbard today. And I gotta say something to you because I supported you. I voted for you. I backed you. I canvassed for you. And you voted against Tulsi Gabbard, a woman who did the same. In fact, she did so much more. She basically sacrificed her future and her career in the Democratic Party to back you. And today, you voted against her. And for what? Because the Democrats have continued to perpetuate a smear invented by Hillary Clinton that was hoisted upon her because she dared do what was right at the time and back you over Hillary Clinton. Shame on you, Bernie Sanders. I'm breaking up with you forever. Like, forever. We're never, ever getting back together.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Good morning, good morning. Joni Rankin says, must be your lipstick choice. Mine, Joni? Let's get a happy birthday for Abe Lincoln. Steelbringer in the chat. Yes. Oh my God, it's happening. Thank you very much, Steelbringer. Your custom is appreciated. LW78 says, Bernie's vote is not surprising. Yeah, Bernie Sanders votes against Tulsi Gabbard despite the fact she gave up her career in the DNC, supporting Bernie Sanders when the DNC stabbed him in the back. He is lower than slime. He is the slimiest. Always has been. It was just so frustrating watching my fellow Americans, many of them, worshiping Bernie Sanders. And, you know, a lot of them came around. A lot of them came over to the Donald Trump train, and God bless them. It was kind of wild to see Bernie Sanders people for Donald Trump. And now we've got this kind of weird subculture online where they call themselves MAGA communists. I kid you not. MAGA communists. Cringe. But hey, that's kind of the rage. I know it sounds weird. Sometimes I had to explain to my father-in-law when he came for a visit recently to see the little baby, about some of these subcultures online and, like, you know, the rise of fascism again, right? The rise of like Hitler fans online. I was trying to explain it to him. I'm like, what you see now, what I'm telling you about now here online is like in 3 to 4 years will be like mainstream news. And this is kind of another perfect example of this one where MAGA communism, it's a big trend online. And sure, it could die. It could be a fad and just go away. I think Jackson Hinkle, I think some of you might be familiar. If you're very online, you know who I'm talking about. But, you know, some trends, they come, they go, right? Tea Party comes and it goes. But it is fascinating to see this overlap with the horseshoe theory that exists in politics quite frequently. Bernie Sanders, avowed big government socialist, flips suddenly to an anti-government, you know, Elon Musk fan, Department of Government Efficiency. I reached out to that girl whose video you just watched, by the way. She's a former Democrat. She apparently was a big, like, canvasser. She says, former Democratic campaign operative, broke up with Bernie Sanders, broke up with the Democrats, broke up with the left. I reached out to her, and maybe she'll come on, maybe she won't. Problem is that I'm still banned on X. I'm not banned. I've been hacked on X. For those of you who don't know, I am no longer in control of AP for Liberty over on X, which is my brand, which is who I am. Waco the Kid asks, is this where the cool kids hang out? Yes, it is. And anyone who says otherwise...
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
You are a communist. So my X account has been hacked for a full 7 days now. Hackers have been in control of @AP for Liberty over on X. And they've ignored repeated requests and responses to try and recover my account over there. It's extremely frustrating, extremely damaging, hurts my reputation, hurts my business, infuriates me, especially because I saw the news that they're bragging about they're bringing out a wallet. X is bringing out a wallet. I'm kind of like... A wallet. You're going to have people's financial, you're going to have people's bank, you're going to do people's banking, and you take 7 days to respond to customer service. Because remember, we're all paying for Premium X. Ask yourself, do you want to connect your financial institutions to an app that does this to some of its biggest supporters? I mean, it's not like I wasn't spending tens of thousands of dollars last year in advertising on X trying to, like, you know, and I don't even have access now to the advertising platform, right? And I've contacted the representative, the person that I spoke to, the ad accounts over there. But I mean, again, guys, it's bad customer service. It is dangerous, and it's proliferating fraud and scams and hacks, and it's damaging my reputation. So, I mean, after long enough, you can't take something like that sitting down. As much as you love Elon and much as you love what X is doing, you're glad they can have free speech. Like, quite frankly, this is ridiculous, and it's time to fight back, guys. And it's, maybe time to even get a little mean. And, you don't like to do that with your friends or people that you support, but at the end of the day, like, you can't tolerate this kind of intrusion into your business and personal life and allow it to continue. I understand 24 hours, 48 hours it takes to get a response to somebody over there, but a week is ridiculous. And imagine if somebody hacked your bank account and your bank just wouldn't talk to you at all, because that's really what's happening right now. But 7 days going by and they're just doing whatever the hell they want with your bank account, right? It's a similar thing, in my opinion. Let's see. Online companies purposely have crummy customer service. It is true, not true for me. As a matter of fact, I've taken great pains to make myself as available as possible, Stephanie and I, for the customer service of I want to show you something. Let me show you how an online company should be run, Elon. I don't mean to tell you your business here, but this is an online business. This is forlibertyshop.com, right? And here it is. You can see the transparency. Let me show you just from the reviews. This is a third party. I have to hire an independent third party agency to be able to show you these badges. And that independent third party agency has to approve. It will give me a series of badges based on my level of transparency. And then it also gives you authenticity scores so that people, when they come to my website, can know, because there's a lot of shady stuff going on out there, a lot of scams. But I want you, if you've never taken a look at this before, if you've been to forlibertyshop.com, take a look at this on the reviews page. Go to the reviews page there. You can see at the top of the screen. And it says platinum transparency, okay? Platinum transparency. The shop published at least 99% of verified reviews received in total. In reality, it's 100%, I think, because I don't know, some review got deleted and it wasn't my fault. Something happened on the back end. I don't know why. I think it was like a glitch or something, but it should be 100% reviews. Every single thing everyone has said about the products that I sell, that I ship to my customers, right, is there. And look, need help? I want you to see this in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Let me see if I can get it pulled up where my head is not covering it. Well, so you can just barely see it. There's there we go. So there's a need help, chat with us. You can literally open up a chat and contact us, right? You want to get about us. Who am I? That's the first button. Who is behind this website? How do you get in touch with this, right? How can you contact us, right? It's all here. Scroll down to the bottom, contact us. Same place you would find any menu. Come in, fill out the form right there. You can either immediately chat with us, send us a message. You send us an email. And of course, the phone number is on the website as well. You can text us with an inquiry right away. You can respond to the text messages that we send out, right? And we push all this stuff out there so that we can actually provide customer service because we really care, right? And the reviews show it. Again, we don't write our own reviews, guys. I mean, I think I bought something once and Stephanie bought something once publicly just to test it, and we wrote a nice review for ourselves. But it's 2 out of 280, so that wouldn't skew it that much. But you can see 259, 10, 3 to 6 people who have given us a 1 star. It happens. We do make mistakes. The overwhelming 4.83 out of 5 stars. This is how you run an online business. Authenticity silver, I'm not quite sure what would give us more of that. It's some kind of personal details that they want that I'm not willing to give them, perhaps. Shop reviews, we got rated by leftists. That does happen too, so we had to make it to only paying customers. But you can see here the shop reviews as well. 5 stars, 5 stars. Look at these pictures. Look at these cute pictures. They got a 3D printed killdozer for my daughter and her husband. They love it. This is how you run an online business. This is real. We're real people. Right, I'm impressed, bigger and better than I expected. Machine gun gnomes, we sold out of those pretty fast. Martha's Mint Coffee, too much fun. Love this company. Lightweight, patriotic shoes, best coffee. Jeffersonian Java rocks. Ew, government. Makes a point. TJ shirt, baby onesies, Caucasians, hilarious shirts. not the same, but just as good. I'm not sure what Nelson Otto was talking about there. The gives us the tools to express ourselves with fun, says Paul Granger. I love Calvin Coolidge. I want to see a tee of him, the font. You know, hundreds and hundreds of satisfied customers, thousands of customers, guys. Not everybody writes reviews, of course. But it's not fair, and I don't think it's legal for them to have my personal information exposed to hackers. There needs to be some recourse for this. So, you know, unfortunately, I'm going to have to escalate. Wish me luck, and if you can throw some support my way, throw some bones, do so. Make some Rumble rants, guys. Support the For Liberty shop. Go to forlibertyshop.com. Make some merch purchase. Buy some Gulf of America merch, guys. Please do write reviews. It really matters. It really matters. And if for some reason some people said, oh, I couldn't write a review, there was some problem, then please do get in touch with us and we'll make sure that you can write a review because it's just freaking delicious. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. I'm Austin Peterson. This is my show. This is my shop. This is my network. We are under attack from all sides. Leftists, Mexicans, some right-wingers. Support the Wake Up America show and our mission to shrink government. We are fighting for liberty here, and fight for liberty is not always popular, but it is necessary.
That's fucking amazing. And then this other thing about Elon. Elon's going to steal everybody's money. He has $400 billion. I'm telling you, he's not going to steal your money. I'm telling you, that's not what he's doing. What he's doing is he's a super genius that's been fucked with. Okay, and when you've been
sorry for the language, it's Joe Rogan, guys. So just maybe turn the speakers down.
Fucked with by these nitwits that hide behind three-letter agencies, and you're dealing with one of the smartest people alive, and he helps Donald Trump get into office, and he goes, "I want to find out what kind of corruption is really around." Well, you fucked up. You fucked up and picked the wrong psychopath on the spectrum because he's gonna hunt you down. He's gonna find out what's going on, and that's good. That's good for everybody. That's how you should be looking at this. Like, wow, we have a brilliant mind that is examining these really fucking corrupt and goofy systems, and bringing in a bunch of psychopath wizards.
I'm telling you, man, we're living in the best possible timeline. It can't get much better than this.
7 specific examples off the top of his head of where the corruption and fraud were. I know you didn't play the clips. He was talking about a contractor that had a 3-month contract. He was paid for 20 years. He was talking about welfare benefits that were being paid to someone that was technically 150 years old. He was talking about line items in the Treasury that had no justification.
There's no any actual, he doesn't present any actual evidence.
Well, he's standing there in the Oval Office. Do you expect him to come in with 10,000 pages? And I have to be clear, to complain about this administration about transparency, when this president takes open questions on a daily basis, yet Joe Biden didn't show up for a press conference this 6 months, is insane. Well, these guys are being extremely transparent. They don't have to sit there and take the questions, but they do. It's all on the website. It's all out there.
It's not transparency to say things that have no factual background. I mean, to say we're cutting, we've found $1 billion or $1 trillion in waste with no specifics, that's just talk. That's not transparency.
It's 23 days in here, guys. 23 days. You're talking about 2.3 billion that was saved last year. These guys are saving 2.3 billion a day.
Right, but
it's incredible.
That's what they're saying. But where's the proof?
You're waiting. You're not going to be satisfied till he shows up with 10,000 pages.
But 10,000 pages.
Yeah.
He's giving very specific things,
yes, he's giving
but he's not actually giving any evidence of that.
It's all going to come because what they also said was, if we have to go to Congress, we'll go to Congress.
Right, but
we'll show where it is.
Some of the details that have come out, like the $59 million spent on luxury hotels, it's actually not.
Talking about the FEMA money that was abused for migrants.
Yeah.
FEMA money for migrants, that's okay now?
No, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. Don't put words in my mouth.
So would you stop that? Would you stop that process?
Don't be a dick. The portrayal, what I'm saying is the portrayal by him is...
Don't be a dick, Roy Anderson. You would know about that. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has mismanaged tens of billions of dollars over the years, according to numerous government reports into its spending. The government agency's response to COVID, hurricanes, floods, and housing migrants have all come under fire for being wasteful and going unchecked. as the newly created Department of Government Efficiency has been sent in to analyze its spending. FEMA, ask not for whom the Doge tolls, it tolls for thee. The most recent audit of FEMA claimed that they mismanaged nearly $10 billion during the COVID pandemic between 2020 and 2023. FEMA even approved a grant of $1.1 billion, despite it only being supported by a single piece of paper with no itemized costs. This is according to the Department of Homeland Security's Office of the Inspector General. They did an audit on January 30th. The request was also not prepared by a licensed professional engineer or cost estimating professional. Some lame man bureaucrat wrote it. The Trump administration has called for a complete overhaul of FEMA, which I am 100% on board with. Their budget is $65 billion. $1.5 billion was doled out for one state's medical staffing without any vetting, and it could have been put to much better use for other disasters, right? These issues occurred, right, due to the unprecedented circumstances, of course, in the pandemic, but they were not following established requirements when delivering public assistance funding. They were just shoveling our cash out the door without proper oversight. It's time to end. FEMA is unaccountable, it is corrupt, and it needs to go. Let the states take care of their own disaster assistance. Let the states take care of it. Let private people take care of the disaster. I assure you that if insurance companies are allowed to set market rates for, I don't know, building a palatial mansion on a beach that is sometimes known to have hurricanes, whoopsie, your house got destroyed. Well, I need the government to bail me out. It's the government, it's the federal government, and you got poor people in Missouri subsidizing the houses of rich people in Florida, subsidizing the insurance, and of course insurance it's not coverage, as we all know, for our messed up healthcare system. But I assure you that if you allow insurance companies and private individuals stepping up to handle the disaster, this disaster assistance is brought to you by Nestle. Now, I know what you're going to say, right? We're going to have a whole Tim Dillon angry rant that's going to be very funny and very relevant, topically relevant. It's going to get 500,000 views, and he's going to rant against this corporate idea of taking care of disasters. Oh, well, we don't want the government to do it. Oh, so Elon Musk and the corporations are going to do it, man. And it's like, because the left always twists everything, right, to where it's like, it's going to be privatized, right? It's like everybody is some version of Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren, or Teddy Roosevelt, progressive Republicans, right? And no, like very few people really are Milton Friedman, because when the rubber hits the road, when it's a disaster, there are very few Milton Friedmans, right? When Hurricane Katrina rolls in, when COVID hits, there are very few libertarians in crisis foxholes. Very few. You see it all the time, right? So even like erstwhile allies, allies that you've had for years, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, it's a crisis, so we have to throw out the Constitution. Somebody's crying on TikTok, the left will usually say, throw out the Constitution. The liberal is crying on TikTok. I say no. Oh no, the evil corporations. Boo, boo. Well, it's going to be... I know it's not popular to say. Yeah, liberty is not always popular. That's one thing that Ron Paul was wrong about, is that liberty is not always popular. But it is the right thing to do. Nestle can't screw it up more than the government can. The government can absolutely make it worse. Not that corporations are perfect, or that the private market is going to be a utopia and we'll all be living in gummy drops and raindrops and Iraq can become a completely functioning society. No. There's going to be problems. There's going to be bumps. There's going to be hazards. There is, of course, fraud and graft and grift in the private market. Absolutely. But a proper government established with proper authority, acting properly under constitutional, legal, and moral guidelines will police the fraud and abuse that libertarians do believe, like Milton Friedman do believe, is the necessary and proper role of government. Thank you. What is the proper role of government? It is to defend the liberty of the people. It's defend our rights. That's the proper role of government. When I hear these people advocating for these proposals sometimes, I just want to ask them, and I know, if you ever want to find out how much somebody knows, really knows, they're shouting their opinion, if they're screaming, next time your angry, wicked aunt or whatever, wicked stepmother is pissed off at you because you're a Trump supporting Republican or whatever, right? Ask them just this question, okay? Ask them, what is the proper role of government? And then just watch. Short circuit, does not compute. Guess what? Not to lay an income tax. I'm going to the Capitol. I'm going to storm the Capitol today. Right after I get off. No joke. This is not performance art. This is not performative. I'm going to my state capitol here in like 10 minutes. I'm going to go get on a fresh pair of clothes, get out of my PJs, head over to the state capitol, and I'm going to go advocate for abolishing Missouri state income tax. I'm doing that for you and for me. Freedom is oftentimes in my best interest as well, because I'm a player. That's right. I'm a player. I'm in the game. Fighting for your rights and mine, baby. I don't want an income tax. Support the Wake Up America show. Support your boy, AP. While I'm over there in the Capitol, advocating in front of your lawmakers, duly elected lawmakers, why we should abolish the income tax here in the state of Missouri. Go shopping in my honor at forlibertyshop.com. Get yourself some sweet Gulf of America merchandise and join the fight for liberty. I mean, just have this sitting on your desk, right? Or this. Right there. Who can be mad at Benjamin Franklin? Okay. Gulf of America, well, Google did change their map to it, so it is legit, and you've got a nice little patriotic shark there. Send a message. You want to send a nice little subtle message? Gulf of America. Right there. Just let it sit on the desk and just watch like the liberal eye twitch at work. Sorry, we're ending your DEI programs here at the office. It does not compute. Watch their heads explode. It just sits right there on the desk, guys. ForLibertyShop.com. I'm going to state capitol. I'm going to argue it's time to abolish the income tax. You are going shopping. Exit through the gift shop, guys. ForLibertyShop.com. We'll see you here tomorrow on the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's revolutionary roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's patriotic perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your Founding Flavors at apforlibertyshop.com.